everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Riwaj and I'm here on behalf of TargetTestPrep to talk about my experience using the TTP platform. I know a lot of you are thinking about how to crack the GMAT, and I just want to share all the things that did and didn't work for me. Alrighty, and now speaking a little bit about my background, I'm originally from Kathmandu, Nepal, and I came to the States for my undergrad to study engineering. After that, I joined a management consulting firm where I've been working for the past few years. But now I'm looking to make a switch. I want to transition into a more finance-specific role, specifically venture capital, because that's where my passions lie. And as you all know, the MBA is like the stepping stone to make that career transformation. And then of course, there's the GMAT. And honestly, the GMAT feels like this huge roadblock standing between you and your dream B school. I know that in order to make that happen, in order to make your dream B school dreams come true, I knew that I needed to get a good GMAT score. And to get that score, it was crucial to find the right coaching platform. That's exactly what brought me to TargetTestPrep, and today I'm going to break down why it ended up being the perfect platform for me. So diving into the next question, when did I actually start preparing for the GMAT, and what was my journey like before I found TTP? Well, my GMAT prep journey started in March 2023, right around the time I decided that I wanted to pursue and get an MBA. I reached out to a few alums and they pointed me towards a coaching platform that was based out of India. And they were really flashy with their promises, and honestly, I just got sucked in. They were making these wild promises like guaranteeing anyone who used their platform would score in the top 1 percentile. And I mean, they even claimed that someone who didn't know English well could score in the 99th percentile verbal, or that if you even failed basic high school math, they could still get you 99th percentile in Quant. And I'm not gonna lie, I bought into that dream, especially when they said they had these proprietary techniques that could solve difficult problems in under 30 seconds. But over time, it became really clear that all these promises were just false, really, because they couldn't back any of those claims up, because their so-called techniques were just gimmicks, honestly. Like, it would work on one or two super difficult quant problems that, I would be able to solve them under 30 seconds, but GMAT problems vary so much that you can't really rely on just tricks and shortcuts to get you to the test. It just does not work like that. And adding more to that, the teaching style itself was also a huge issue, because it was just lectures that were 5 hours long, super dense, and they didn't even segment it properly. And people were just kind of asking questions in the lecture, and you were kind of stuck watching it in the recordings. And when it came the time to revise, it was nearly impossible because the lectures weren't just broken down into chapters, so you had no idea when one topic ended and the other one began. And the tracking process, it was also a massive headache because you had to do everything manually in Excel, and you had to even tracking your mistakes, you had to do it on your own on Excel, and it took just so much time. And honestly, because it was so cumbersome, there were so many days I just missed it because it was such a hassle. And even the testing platform, it was just terrible. Like, the UI was awful and their questions were so outdated, and it was just pretty much useless. And in the end, I didn't get the GMAT score I wanted. And looking back, I kind of know why, right? The coaching I received was focused on shortcuts and tricks rather than teaching me the right way to approach the GMAT. And that's just not how GMAT works. There are no shortcuts to success. Why I believe TargetTestPrep is the greatest of all time, aka the GOAT of GMAT prep. Reason number one would be the platform is truly comprehensive. Every chapter from start to finish in both verbal and quant is taught in a way that's super easy to understand, and the best part is you can actually use what you've learned in an actual test setting. There are no gimmicks, no bluffs, no fluffs. They teach you the real way to approach the GMAT. Take Quant for example. Instead of some flashy shortcut, they teach you how to actually understand the problem, break it down, structure it, and solve in a way it's supposed to be solved. Same with verbal. The focus is always on making sure you actually understand what the question is actually asking for, and then solving it properly, not just relying on some gimmicks to just get you through it. Reason number two would be the detailed explanation and bookmarking feature at TTP. Every chapter that you study has this long, in-depth explanation that dives deep into the actual material. But what's cool is that they also highlight the key message, so you can always bookmark the key message and come back to it later. For each chapter, there are also tons of practice questions, and if you get a question wrong, you can always mark why you got it wrong, and all of this gets stored in a separate section of the software that you can always access wherever you need to. It's like your personal mistake tracker, which is super helpful when you're revising. And remember when I said in my last coaching tool that I used, everything had to be done manually. You do not have to do any of that. And honestly, it's a huge help. If I just was diligent in tracking my mistakes from the very beginning, I feel like I would have I would have pushed my score so much higher. I wouldn't have to devote so many months into studying GMAT. I think I would have been able to cut down on my study time as well. So the third reason is the super clear study plan, because it just means that you don't have to worry about what you're going to be studying next. All you need to do is just follow the plan and you're golden. It's literally just laid out for you right there. And the fourth reason I love TTP is their balanced focus on both core and hard skills. And what I mean by that is that they teach you the essential GMAT content like verbal, quant, data reasoning, but they also focus on improving your attention to detail, critical thinking, and overall comprehension. And that's actually huge, because it's not just about acing the test, but the point of GMAT is that they want to see if you have the skills that are going to be valuable, that you can utilize, and that's going to be valuable in B school and your career after. So in short, TTP doesn't just prepare you for the GMAT, it's setting you up to be a better business leader in the long run. And the fifth reason is something I personally really needed: a smart error tracking and targeted practice. I feel like the main reason I didn't get the GMAT score I wanted before was not because I didn't know how to solve difficult questions, it was because I was making a lot of silly mistakes. And if I had to describe TTP, I'd say it's designed to teach you to not make silly mistakes. It's just based on it, and it's just part of the whole package you'll get, because they make sure you master the easy questions before you move on to the more difficult ones. Plus you can track every mistake and mark exactly why you got that question wrong. And in addition to that, you can even create custom tests to focus on your weakest chapters or the questions you got wrong. And the game is really all about targeted practice, and which is super helpful when you're revising and need that last bit of polish. So a good analogy for this would be, I like to think of that, you've done the hard work, but TTP really gives you the tools to put on that final coat of varnish, and that just actually allows you to shine. And the sixth thing is their smooth user interface. The videos and contents are well organized, and you always know exactly where to find what you need. So that means no more shifting through hours of lectures trying to find the specific sections you need to revise. Everything is segmented really in an organized fashion, so revision is super easy. Plus it tracks your time spent on each question, which really helps you improve your time management skills for the actual test. So with those 6 things, I want to finally say that, I want to end by saying TTP provides a straightforward approach that gives real results. If any course guarantees you'll get 99%, you'll be part of the 99th percentile, no matter your background, you should be a bit skeptical. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And TTP isn't about showing you some shortcut. They're your guide, walking you through the real path to success. And yes, the path is treacherous, but TTP equips you with the tools and the knowledge you need to navigate it. This is the path that you have to take if you want to taste real, genuine success. And honestly, that's why I think TTP is the go. So before we part ways, I want to leave you with a couple of personal pieces of advice related to GMAT prep. These are things that really help me, and I hope they'll help you too. The first one is actually super practical and something quick you can do on the day of your exam. If your exam is later in the day, use TTP's custom test feature to do a quick warm-up before you head out. And I don't mean, it has to be anything intense or stressful. Just pick out like 3 to 4 questions from each section, so around 9 to 10 questions in total, and then just give the exam. And the quick warm-up isn't about cramming last-minute knowledge, it's just to get your brain in that zone, Like by just doing a few questions from each sections, you'll get yourself mentally ready so that when the real exam starts, you can just hit the ground running. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it works. It gets your mind sharp and ready to focus. Now on to the second piece of advice. This one's a little bit deeper. So remember at the beginning when I said TargetTestPrep is truly comprehensive? Well, I kind of lied, because there's one thing that even TTP can't do for you, and that's to teach you to not be afraid. TTP will give you all the skills and knowledge you need, but it cannot force you to not be fearful. That's something you have to do for yourself. They can guide you to become more confident, but at the end of the day, it's on you to believe in yourself. And the first thing you need to do to get on the right path is to stop fighting the feeling. You need to acknowledge that it's completely okay to be scared. You're about to do something challenging, and a natural human response to adversity is fear, whether that's in the form of anxiety, panic, or just nervousness. And that's part of how we've survived as a human race for centuries. So you can't be just too hard on yourself for feeling that way. And it just need to acknowledge that it's completely normal to feel the way you've been feeling. So what actually helped me to overcome my fear was a little exercise that I did with my notepad. So I wrote down all the times in the past when I was really scared, when I didn't think I could succeed, when I doubted myself, or when I faced something uncomfortable and difficult. And like, those things didn't have to be academic, think about all the instances in your life where you felt that fear, but you still came out on the other side victorious. And write everything down, and once you have that list, every time self-doubt starts creeping in, take that list out, read every line through, and remind yourself of all the times you've been scared, but you still succeeded. And this is your evidence-based affirmation. You've now got proof that fear does not mean failure. And you've faced challenges before, and you've won. So why won't you succeed this time? So over time, your brain will listen to that, and I'm not saying that this will magically make your fear disappear, but it's been the best remedy for me. And it really helps shift your mindset and makes that fear much more manageable. So with that 2 tips, I just want to wish you all the best of luck on your GMAT journey, and I hope you consider using TargetTestPrep as your guide to help you through it. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening, and good luck with your exam.